Hey everyone, welcome to Dollar Games, and today I want to talk about the Lunar series. Now, with the Lunar series making a comeback with the remasters that just dropped today, it just felt like the perfect time to revisit the series as a whole. And for me, it's always been very nostalgic with me growing up playing the Working Designs versions. But instead of starting with the classics everyone adores, I kind of took a detour for this video. I'm going to be looking at the Lunar game that almost nobody talks about, and that is probably for a good reason. Now, Lunar Dragon Song on the Nintendo DS isn't just a series forgotten prequel. It's a strange experiment into what not to do when you're dealing with a game design, and it also feels like the game was just built on just dares. So, before we dive back into the glory days, I kind of want to start with more of a cautionary tale of what not to do when designing a game. So let's get started. Lunar Dragon Song is a game that exists. Released in 2005 and developed by Japan Art Media, while being published by Ubisoft. This Nintendo DS title is historically notable for being the first Lunar game to reach North America in nearly a decade, and for being an early attempt at an RPG on the then new handheld. It's just unfortunate that it plays like a tech demo that forgot to include the fun. Lunar Dragon Song tells a story of Jian, a teenage delivery boy whose greatest dream is to stop delivering packages long enough to maybe fight a dragon or something. Set 1,000 years before other Lunar games, this prequel attempts to explore the origin of the Dragon Master legacy by sending you on a heroic journey that begins, as all epics do, with mail. Jian is soon swept into a grand conflict between humans and beastmen because nothing says ancient fantasy struggle like aggressive animal people and awkwardly phrased dialogue. Along the way, we meet a mysterious girl with a destiny because, of course, and a few companions who seem to be just as confused about the game's tone as the player is. The narrative tries very hard to be noble and inspiring, and occasionally stumbles into some sort of competence, usually right before a fetch quest kills the mood again. There's a big central theme about unity and sacrifice, but it often feels like it's being delivered to you by someone who skimmed the Lunar series wiki 5 minutes before its pitch meeting. Still, credit where credit's due, it wants to tell a sweeping emotional story. The game just has a habit of tripping over its own shoelaces and landing face first into a pile of delivery slips. It's not the worst RPG story ever told, but it might be the most aggressively mediocre one to ride on the coattails of something beloved. Now, combat in Lunar Dragon Song feels like it was designed during a power outage, and no one really double-checked the blueprint when the lights came back on. The most eyebrow-raising decision is that you can't actually choose which enemy your character attacks. Instead, they simply just launch themselves at whatever target the game's internal logic deems appropriate, often with the precision of a toddler throwing spaghetti at a wall. Now, strategy then becomes more of a vague suggestion than an actionable plan. You equip your party, walk into battle, and hope the AI isn't in a particularly chaotic mood that day. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, the game introduces its infamous combat versus virtue mode system. In combat mode, you earn experience points, but no items. In virtue mode, you get items but no experience. Yes, the game splits its two most essential rewards into two separate tracks, like some kind of karmic vending machine. Want to level up? Too bad, no healing items for you. Want items? Great, stay weak. It's the kind of system that makes you question whether you're supposed to be playing the game or being punished by it. Either way, your choices rarely feel satisfying unless your idea of a good time is choosing between a rock and a slightly angrier rock. And what makes it even worse, honestly, is that they don't even tell you about this virtue system. I was literally playing the game and just kept getting items, and I just had to look something up and didn't realize that you're supposed to click on the face of Jian on the touchpad. And then it switches to that. So they don't even give you an understanding of what these options are. Now, in Lunar Dragon Song, running isn't just a convenience as well, it's a trap. The game punishes you for moving faster than a casual stroll by by draining your health every time you break into a jog. That's right, your character just takes actual damage for choosing to hustle, as if they're allergic to cardio or something. It's a mechanic so counterintuitive that it almost feels like performance art. You'll find yourself limping into some sort of battle, not because you fought valiantly, but because you dared to walk with purpose through a cave. It's the only RPG where equipping sneakers feels like equipping a slow-acting poison. This turns dungeon crawling into a bizarre game of risk management where every step is laced with dread. Do you want to conserve health and move at a speed of a sedimentation? Or save time and watch your party slowly bleed out like they're being charged by the minute? There's no middle ground, just a creeping existential crisis with every hallway. It's a mechanic so deeply at odds with basic player instincts that it becomes oddly fascinating, like watching someone build a house starting with a roof and hoping it just all works out. The interface doesn't do the game any favors either. Touch controls are implemented in the most obligatory way possible, and basic quality of life features like a quest log or a map are notably absent. You will spend a lot of time wondering where to go next, and a lot of additional time deciding if it's worth it. The answer is usually no, but by the time you realize that, you're already knee-deep in another delivery quest that feels like it was written by someone who's never really experienced joy. Menus are clunky, the battle feedback is vague at best, and enemy encounters appear with the regularity of a clingy houseguest. Even equipping gear feels like it was deliberately slowed down to remind you that time is fleeting. It's not broken in the way a bug-ridden mess is broken, it's broken in that uncanny way where you start to wonder if you're just fundamentally misunderstanding how fun is supposed to work. Believe it or not, Lunar Dragonsong does have some redeeming qualities. You just have to squint a little and maybe tilt your head. The sprite work is pleasant enough with colorful character designs and decent environmental variety. Towns have a cozy, handcrafted look to them, and the world at least feels like a Lunar game, even if it behaves like a distant cousin that no one talks about. The music also shows up and tries its best. While it doesn't quite reach the emotional highs of its Lunar predecessors, a few tracks genuinely capture the sense of adventure, like they were smuggled in from a better game and are quietly hoping no one notices. There's also an odd sincerity to the story and world building. The game wants to say something meaningful, it just keeps getting distracted by bizarre mechanics and delivery side quests. The characters, while not the deepest, are written with a certain earnest charm, and the overall plot at least attempts to expand the Lunar mythos, in a way that feels like someone at least tried to care. It's not quite a hidden gem, but more like a gem that got dropped behind a fridge and came out a little dusty and bent. Still, if you're a hardcore fan of the series or just enjoy watching design experiments unfold in slow motion, there's a weird low-level fascination in seeing what Dragonsong was trying to be. If nothing else, Lunar Dragonsong serves as an unintentional reminder of just how easy it is to take good design for granted. Features like saving anywhere, intuitive menus, and the ability to run without developing a chronic condition aren't luxuries. They're the floor, not the ceiling. Playing this game in 2025, especially with the Lunar Remasters now resurfacing, creates a kind of whiplash. It's like revisiting a beloved childhood home only to find someone replaced all the furniture with cardboard and told you it was an experimental layout. But maybe that's the secret accidental value of Dragonsong. It lowers the bar so dramatically that everything else in the series feels like a triumph in contrast. It makes the good games look even better, the characters more likable, the world more magical. It's not a prequel in the narrative sense. It's a prequel in the sense that it reminds you why the rest of the Lunar games are still remembered fondly. And maybe, just maybe, that its real contribution to the legacy being the game you play once, just to say you survived it. In the end, Lunar Dragonsong feels like a rough draft that somehow got published. It's an RPG that constantly punishes you for trying to engage with it, and yet there's a strange fascination in seeing how these new design choices continue to defy common sense. Now, if you're a hardcore Lunar fan, it might be worth experimenting out of morbid curiosity. Probably not though. But for everyone else, this is best viewed from a distance while playing the Lunar Remasters because you'll have a way better experience. Now, If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and maybe don't check out this game. It's not worth it. Either way, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys all on the next episode. Take care. Bye.